He was 28 years old, and in one night he destroyed a bank that had survived Napoleon, 2 world wars, and 233 years of history. Barings wasn't just any bank. It financed the Louisiana Purchase. It banked the Queen of England herself. Kings, empires, and financial panics came and went, and Barings just kept standing until it didn't. It was killed by a single trader, sitting alone in a back office in Singapore, hiding a hole in the books that had grown too big to ever fill. 12 months earlier, Nick Leeson was the rising star of Barings Futures Singapore. He'd arrived to run the back office, the settlements desk, the unglamorous paperwork that makes sure every trade actually clears the way it's supposed to. He was good at it. So good that Barings did something almost no serious bank would ever allow. They let him run the trading desk too. The same man placing the bets became the same man checking whether those bets were real and whether the money was really there. In finance, that separation is supposed to be sacred. At one branch, in one city, for one very ambitious young trader, it wasn't. Singapore in the early 90s was booming. Asian markets were on fire, and a British bank with a 2-century head start on everyone else wanted a piece of it badly enough to look the other way. It started small, the way these things always do. In 1992, a junior trader on his team made a costly mistake, and Leeson opened a special account to quietly absorb the loss while it got sorted out later. Account number 88888. It was supposed to be temporary, a placeholder, nothing anyone would ever need to explain. Instead, every bad trade Leeson made from that point on went straight into 8888, and for 2.5 years, nobody in London ever thought to look inside it. And here's the twist that made it work. For 2 straight years, the fake numbers looked incredible. Leeson's official reported profits made him Barings' single biggest earner. Some years, more than all of the bank's other trading desks combined. London didn't investigate the Golden Goose. They promoted him. They increased his trading limits. The better his fake results looked, the less anyone above him wanted to ask a single question about how he was getting them. So he doubled down. He started selling options that bet the market would stay calm, collecting the premiums up front and using that cash to quietly plug the hole in 8888. When the market moved against him, instead of stopping, he doubled down again and again. By the end of 1994, account 8888 was hiding losses of more than $200 million, and Leeson was calling London for fresh margin money almost every single week. London kept sending it. Nobody asked what it was actually for. An internal audit team had actually flagged the setup as dangerous months earlier. One trader controlling both the front and back office was a textbook risk. The warning went into a file. Nothing changed because on paper, Leeson wasn't a risk. He was the best performing trader Barings had. Executives in London were busy planning how to spend his profits, not auditing where they came from. Then, on January 17, 1995, an earthquake tore through the Japanese city of Kobe. Nearly 6,500 people died. And thousands of miles away, in Singapore, Nick Leeson's bet on a calm, stable market detonated along with it. The Nikkei 225 cratered overnight. Every position he'd buried inside account 88888 started bleeding money by the hour. And there was no version of the trade left that could save him. He tried to trade his way out of it. He bought even more futures, betting the index would snap back fast enough to cover the damage before anyone noticed. It didn't snap back. Barings tried scrambling for emergency capital that weekend. No one anywhere would write a check that large, that fast, for a hole nobody had seen coming. By the time anyone in London finally understood what account 8088 actually was. The losses inside it had reached £827 million, more money than the entire 233-year-old bank was worth. Baring's entire capital base was gone, wiped out by one man, one account, and one bet on a market that was supposed to stay calm. On February 23, 1995, Nick Leeson packed a bag and left Singapore for good. He left one line on a note for his colleagues: "I'm sorry." For 9 days he ran, trying to make it back to England, moving through Malaysia and Brunei and Germany, before German police finally caught up with him at the airport in Frankfurt on March the 2nd. 3 days after Leeson disappeared, Baring's bank collapsed. The Bank of England spent a frantic weekend searching for anyone willing to rescue it, and found no one. The bank that had survived 233 years, 2 world wars, and the fall of empires was sold off to a Dutch bank, ING, for exactly £1. Leeson was extradited back to Singapore, pled guilty, and was sentenced to 6.5 years in Changi prison. He served 4 of them, was diagnosed with colon cancer behind bars, and survived it. Every major bank in the world runs on a rule that exists because of him now. The person who makes the trade can never be the person who checks it. One conflict of interest, one hidden account, and it took him just 3 years to take down a bank older than the United States itself. Subscribe for the stories actually moving the markets.